Buckle up, everybody, because we're diving deep into a world where history meets Bollywood. And, well, it's a deep dive requested by you guys. Emergency, the movie. Yeah, that one.
All right.
We're going in.
All right.
We're taking a closer look and using a review from moviekaticket.com as our jumping off point.
Okay.
Now, I know what you might be thinking. A movie review, for a deep dive. But bear with us because this one is juicy. We're talking Indira Gandhi. We're talking a pivotal moment in India's history. The emergency, all packed into one film.
Yeah, it really tries to capture like this compelling drama, but also, stay true to this really complex and kind of contested period.
It's a tall order, right?
Yeah.
So the film centers around Indira Gandhi's, her journey.
Mm-hmm.
It shows, her relationship with her son Sanjay Gandhi and how, things kind of unraveled leading up to her declaring a state of emergency in 1975. I was really struck by, how they depicted her transformation from this leader who's maybe being manipulated to this figure wielding, absolute power.
Right. And that's why I think the historical context is so important. The emergency, for those who might not know, was this 21-month period where civil liberties were suspended, political opponents were, jailed, and the press was super heavily censored.
Wow.
And Indira Gandhi, she argued that it was necessary to maintain order and keep things stable.
Right.
But it's, it's really controversial still, a super controversial chapter in India's, journey as a democracy.
I bet. Now, the review that we're looking at, they just rave about Kangana Ranaut.
Yeah.
As Indira Gandhi, they say she just embodies, all the contradictions, the strength, the vulnerability, that steeliness.
Right.
It makes you think, when you see such a powerful figure portrayed with this kind of, nuance, does it change how we see her actions, even the controversial ones?
Yeah, that's a good point. And it kind of makes me wonder, though, does Ranaut's, portrayal maybe lean a little too heavily into, some existing narratives about Indira Gandhi? Does it reinforce maybe some perceptions rather than challenge them?
Ah, I see.
It's so easy for film, right, to kind of simplify history. And especially with, these really larger than life figures like Indira Gandhi.
Right. Now, the supporting cast is pretty star-studded.
Yeah.
I mean, you got Anupam Kher, Shreyas Talpay, even Milan Soman. But the review notes that because things move so fast, the pace, there's not a lot of room to really explore these characters.
Yeah.
It almost seems like they're there to, move the plot along rather than being fleshed out people.
I think that is one of the biggest challenges, when you're making a film about history.
Yep.
I mean, you're trying to condense, years and years of complex events into just a couple of hours. Something has to, give. But when you sacrifice some of that depth, are we missing, a crucial part of the story? Another way of understanding what happened?
Right. The review also touches on the music, which is, it's interesting. It's this mix of dramatic scores and these really powerful songs like Sing a Song Kali Karan and Shagnad Kar. It feels like, G. Prakash Kumar and Arco, the composers, they were going for this soundtrack that's grand and urgent. But the review suggests that the music at times feels, almost underutilized. It's this missed opportunity to, give more emotional weight to certain scenes.
Well, music is really powerful when it comes to, shaping how we see a story.
Yeah.
You think about it, if you have this, soaring score during a political victory, it might, make you sympathize with Indira Gandhi's choices.
Oh, okay.
But then, if they use this really somber melody when they're showing the crackdown on dissent, that could totally evoke a completely different response.
Oh, yeah.
It's subtle, but it's a tool filmmakers use to, guide our feelings.
Interesting. And here's where the review kind of, gets a little more critical. Mm-hmm. They point out that the film maybe has a bit of a biased perspective.
Okay.
They say the portrayal of the opposition to Indira Gandhi is really one-dimensional, almost cartoonish.
Oh, wow.
It's almost like they want you to, see things from only one side.
And that's, kind of a red flag for me when we're talking about any historical drama, really. I mean, The emergency was this incredibly politically charged period, with people on all sides who felt really strongly.
Right.
So by simplifying the opposition, are we losing a really important part of what happened?
Yeah.
Does the film kind of accidentally endorse a specific political view, even if they didn't mean to.
Right.
It makes you think about the responsibility filmmakers have when they take on, these sensitive topics.
So we've gone from like this movie review to this deep dive, not just into the emergency, but into like all the complexities of making a film about history. Right?
Yeah.
It kind of reminds us that even something as, seemingly straightforward as a movie can have all these, layers of interpretation.
Absolutely.
Potential biases and just artistic choices that shape how we understand the past.
Yeah, and that's why I think, it's on the viewer to kind of be active too. Like, what are the perspectives that might be, missing from the film?
Oh, yeah.
What voices should be heard to get a more complete picture?
Right.
Like, Emergency might be, a really interesting movie.
Right.
But it shouldn't be the only thing you use to try to understand this, really complex time.
It's a starting point.
Exactly.
Well, on that note, this has been quite the deep dive.
Yeah.
I think we've covered a lot of ground, but there's always more to explore.
Always.
And for you listeners out there, I'd love to hear your thoughts. What other films or books or resources would you recommend for, really digging into this period? Hit us up in the comments.
Yeah, let us know. We'd love to hear.
Thanks for joining us on this deep dive. See you next time.
See it.